that's the path, and it's different for every one of us. We all have our very own specific architectures, blueprints, reasons why we are here now as a human. So that's also why it is less and less important to pick one method or to pick one book to go by in this process, because that's, again, I've talked about this before and I probably will talk about it again. That's just someone else's interpretation, which can be valuable, and if it's helpful for you, please, go by it, and then eventually be open to dropping again. But so everyone's process has a different pace, has a different manifestation, has a different outcome, or if there is such a thing. But the direction is more or less the same. The direction is more or less the same. And the direction obviously is to reacquaint your human part with your source being part, and then integrate it. And that direction includes letting go of so many things that we are conditioned to. Letting go of all these patterns. Yeah, the only thing that you have to ask yourself is this my pattern? Is this my direction? Or am I following someone else's footsteps, or someone else's expectations, or someone else's dream? You have to be willing to bring everything to the surface. And with that I mean is that most of the things that we do in life, we do without full awareness. We do them because we did them yesterday, so we'll do them again today and tomorrow. So we're not fully aware of it. We are just in a system that's filled with unawareness. You have to be willing to look at everything. But you have to be willing to look at yourself and look at everything, all your choices. It's about your words that you use. It's about the thoughts that you have. It's about your actions. These three things are creators, and they create your reality. And they do create your reality because you condition your brain in a certain way by habitually thinking, speaking, and acting in a certain way. That creates your reality. That creates a pattern, and that pattern is also influenced, obviously, by your upbringing, and by all the things and all the pain and all the circumstances that you went through and that you keep going through. And it's also determined culturally. I mean, obviously there are so many things that help shape your world without you being even aware of it. And if you want to experience yourself, in the sense of yourself, your human part and your source part, then you have to let go of all those constructs. And it's a painful process, because you have to be willing to go through a lot of pain, because most of the conditions that we have are coping mechanisms, right? There's so much pain, but there's beauty in that, because the pain also shows you a way out. But the first step is to be aware of that we have conditioned ourselves in very particular ways to avoid pain. So that's a coping mechanism, right? And we probably carry that since a very young age, and maybe even before that. So you have to be willing to look at that, step by step. Yeah, obviously, you don't have to do that all alone, all by yourself. There is wonderful help out there. But ultimately, there is, you can also say that it is something that you will have to do on your own, because it's your specific set of conditionings and set of of everything, basically. So there are many beautiful people and books and methods and trainers and teachers and healers out there that you will have to consult. But then it's tricky. Also be aware of the fact that it's just their interpretation of it, and their interpretation might also be colored by their coping mechanisms and pain. We are all humans as well. Yeah, I've met quite some beautiful healers and therapists along the way these last 5 years or so, and I think without exception they all carry their own baggage and things that they are unaware of themselves, because it's all work in progress. Everything that I'm saying to you now is also me talking as a work in progress, There are things that I thought and said and did a couple of years ago that were right at the time, but that I no longer stand behind, because that's part of evolving, never-ending evolving. But as soon as you start to find a sense of direction to your whole process, it becomes easier. I will never say that it becomes easy, but it becomes easier, because at a certain point in time, your source being part becomes more tangible to you, or at least there's sort of a shimmer, and that all happens within your body. Your body is full of gateways through which your source being can make itself present. But you have to train your body to be receptive to that. And the only way to do that is to let go of all the conditionings. The only way to clear up the fog is to realize that your intuition and your true inner wisdom doesn't come from your logical brain, or at least not from that place alone. It comes from your heart region, and from your gut, and from your back, and from every specific part to you. My temples there are antennas up here and back here. I don't know. This this body of ours is so intelligent, so deep intelligent. There's so much wisdom available, and that wisdom is the source part, the being part that at a certain point shines through. But you have to do the work, my friends. You have to be willing to do the work, to allow yourself to reacquaint yourself with source and with being. In the turnaround of my life from leading a sort of shut down life from behind very secure walls, dictated by fear, basically, and dictated therefore by coping mechanisms. And I projected that on becoming successful in a corporate career, because that's very safe, as strange as that may sound. I knew how to do that. I knew how to be safe, so that my feelings were not part of the deal anymore. And damn, don't get me wrong, it's been necessary every step of the way, and I've enjoyed it, and I've met so many wonderful people along the way, and had so many wonderful experiences along the way. It's endless. I couldn't leave one out, or I wouldn't be here. Everything is important. Every step that you go through is necessary, even if you don't realize it at the time. They're building blocks. That's all they are. And once you start to see that, then it's very easy to become grateful for everything, for every little step, for every little pain that turned out to be a teacher or a teaching, for every little step along the way. You can turn it around, and it becomes something to be grateful for. An ultimate moment for me, when I started realizing that I was well underway with letting go, was the moment a couple of years ago when I said goodbye to my beloved house, my lovely apartment, I should say, that I had in Amsterdam, and all the stuff that I had, and I sold it all and gave the rest away, and I saved I saved my guitars, and I stored them with my parents, and some other personal belongings, but almost nothing. And what I had left were 2 travel bags, carry-on, and I left Amsterdam on a Monday morning. It was a very cold Monday morning. It was January, and I was going to India. So I had hardly had any clothes with me, no winter coats, no nothing. And I went to the airport, and I sat in a lounge for a while, and I said, wow, these 2 bags, it's basically all there's left. No more job, no more career, no relationship. I sold my cars, plural, scooter, and I think that I just wanted to experience what it felt like to just let it all go. And I had a one-way ticket. I had a one-way ticket to, first to India and then to Bali. And the plan was to, maybe not even come back to Amsterdam. I was open to that. That's why I said goodbye to everything. It's not about bragging, or it's not about letting you know that I've done that. I would love to show you that it's a possibility in life, to gradually take control by bringing everything to the surface. And sometimes that, in my personal case, that meant I have to be able and willing to let go of everything. That was in my particular process. That was part of it. I had to be okay. I surrender. I fully surrender. If I want to experience the stream of life, if I want to experience what it is to be a human and a source being, I have to get Michiel out of the way. And it's not, you don't have to do that. I mean, it's your particular process, and it's your life, and these are all your decisions. But for me, it was necessary, personally, to cut all the ties and to see what remains. And spoiler alert, all that all that remains is everything. All that remains is a source being that is now fully alive again, and that wants to reconnect with you. And with you, I mean the human part. And then you start to discover a natural flow because you've taken the resistance out. All the conditioning, all the mechanisms, all the coping mechanisms, and everything that we're surrounded by, they start to lose importance. And the resistance is probably built in here, right? So it's logical. That's part of our humanness. You have to be aware that this is not the sole leader, SOLE, leader of your life. You have to involve your whole body, your heart, your gut, I mean, everything. And then it starts to become more of a natural flow. And the beauty of that is that it's the natural flow of life itself and of yourself. It's the same thing. It's that body of one that starts to flow. And because you are an integral part of that, the you part in this has got the same flow ultimately as the being part. And it's very simple. It's so simple. It's row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, life is but a dream. God, that's all. Row your boat. And your boat is your vessel. That's the human part. And the rowing is that's the process, right? To take it in a certain direction. Row your boat gently. Everything gently, please. Down the stream. So without resistance. Down the stream. Merrily. God. Life is but a dream. Life is but a dream, my God. This life, this human life, this tangible life, that's not the true reality, it's a dream. The true reality is a combination of your source and your life, your multi-dimensional being. That is the reality. This is the dream.